The words I'm about to say will test your suspension of disbelief, but I want you to hear me out. Picture a normal day in your life. Whether you spend it at home, school, or work, you're just going through the motions like you always do. But today, the deck seems to be stacked against you. If you're a student, you find yourself facing expulsion for something you don't think was that bad. If you spend your days at home, you're on the verge of being kicked out. And if you have a job, your boss has just threatened to fire you. So far, these are easy enough to imagine, but the next part is going to be hard for most of you to picture. You get a text from your significant other. I know, I'm asking for a lot, but stick with me here. They ask to meet you at the end of your day, and when that happens, they tell you it isn't working out and end your relationship. Know what the really sucky part about this is, though? You saw it coming and aren't as bothered as you think you should be because you've been in a really dark place. Doesn't sound fun, huh? Well, at least after you get home, a spaceship crashes outside your house and an alien who looks just like the ex you can't get over flies out and falls into your arms. What's cracking, guys? Samuel607 here for day 6 of Webtoon Week, throwing at you my thoughts on, review of, and feelings about the popular webtoon by Pookie-senpai, Down to Earth. I just read the whole thing in one sitting and had no one to go on my little rant to, so new video for everyone. Let's get right into this. My opening story time was to set the scene for how this reverse isekai slice of life webtoon begins. Our protagonist Kade has what could only be described as a really bad day with an extraterrestrial twist that's sure to change his life forever. Following the appearance of this mysterious young beauty, Kade begrudgingly takes it upon himself to teach her the ways of the world while in turn learning a thing or two from her about how to be open and honest with himself. I believe it fitting I mentioned something about Down to Earth. This is a romance webtoon. That's right, Sigma males, that's your cue to click off. All done? Toxic masculinity out of the way? Great. Although the genre may be romance, and the story a tale of an unlikely meeting leading to a budding love, through its first 100 chapters it'd be remiss of me to claim much courtship takes place. And to understand why, we have to look at today's primary leads, beginning with Kade. He's a young man with many demons. Although we find him in a relationship to begin the series, he's thoroughly heartbroken and is obviously carrying major baggage. To this day, the specifics of what exactly happened in his past remain unknown, but it's clear as day he's someone who has been hurt before and never wants to go through that again. As a result of that, he's not quite what one would describe as a social butterfly. Kate's the kind of guy you can tell thinks he's too cool for school. He doesn't let anything or anyone in because he doesn't want to feel vulnerable. He doesn't want to give anyone the power to hurt him. This leaves him always detached and distant, which is in stark contrast to his co-star Zaida. If Kate is Mr. Doom and Gloom, Zaida's all sunshine and rainbows. She's the otherworldly edition of the classic naive young enchantress who, for all her goodwill, can't get anything done right by herself. But I mean, can you blame her? Fleeing her home planet of Zodia with barely any knowledge of how to man her stolen ship, she arrives on Earth knowing not any languages, cultures, or even much about the biology of humans or the other animals that roam the planet. Though her telepathy allows her to learn a basic conversational English from Kade almost immediately upon arrival, that's going to be far from enough for her to achieve her ultimate goal in arriving on this planet, to be a normal Earthling. I mean, the fact that she can fly, use telepathy, and has elf ears certainly won't help. Oh, and I forgot to mention, her eyes glow when she gets happy. That's going to be easy to hide. What Down to Earth seeks to accomplish between its naive and almost nihilistic 20-somethings is by no means revolutionary. From sheltered young princesses who've escaped their prison-like privilege to dejected Debbie Downers defeated in some way by their dreary days of yore, Kade and Zaida are both characters we've all seen countless times before. Even the story following the unblackening of a closed-off heart by a pure as white maiden is by no means original, but does it have to be? The overwhelming majority of romance stories play out about as follows. Boy meets girl. Boy falls in love with girl. Boy tries to woo girl. Boy discovers girl felt the same way all along. Happy ending. Of course, we have seen variations in the ending, Romeo and Juliet being a prominent example, but for the most part, the formula remains the same, and that's because it's what the audience wants. And the massive following this webtoon has amassed attests to that. It's all about the execution, and that's next to flawless in this case. I'm not sure I'd describe Kade as a likable character. His flaws are many and his strengths are few, but that's what makes him your regular Joe. No one likes everybody, that's just not how we're wired, and I think playing into that is where this webtoon finds its success. All of the main characters are ripe either with flaws or things they believe to be flaws. Things that keep them from being outgoing or popular. Things that get in the way of their relationships or even their daily lives. Even if we aren't wired to like everyone, we still have empathy. We can still feel bad for victims of misfortune or happy for those who have fortuitous encounters. Down to Earth shows through its writing and understanding of this idea, which is evident in the character interactions and sometimes in the lack thereof. Kade and Zaida trying to navigate the intricacies of their unusual situation and relationship is something far more relatable than some of the individual struggles characters face. Because, at its core, it's the age-old battle between the head and the heart, something we all know a thing or two about. This reflavoring of familiar ideas permeates just about every situation to bring about a really down-to-earth feeling in spite of the out-of-this-world female lead. Now that I've met my word quota and included the obligatory name drop, I believe I've said enough. I liked reading this, I think most of you will too. It's an inoffensive pastime that provides some lighthearted entertainment. That being said, I award it a nice 69 out of 100 marks, 607 UFOs circling the planet deciding our fate. No, it's a story I have no reservations about devoting time to. The art has yet to convince me it is tailored to the story so much as it is the limit of the creator's ability. The story structure and plot have yet to prove independently engaging or unique in over 100 chapters, and the vast majority of the cast members are individually uninteresting, carried entirely by their chemistry. If you're willing to overlook my small personal gripes with it, you're welcome, and that's going to be it for today. As usual, even though I've done well thus far in Webtoon Week, I have no idea how long it will be from my recording to the uploading of this video for my lack of budget. But if you like what I do and would like to see me upload higher quality videos more consistently, please consider supporting me on Patreon. If you can't, however, like this video if you liked the video, dislike the video if you disliked the video, and comment why down below, for the criticism helps me grow. There are almost 300 of you now on our road to 1K, so subscribe to be notified about my future content, and until next time guys, this has been Samuel607, logging out.